All right, congratulations, you guys, on the film.
Thank you.
I had the wonderful opportunity of seeing it. Such a lovely film. Yeah. So, Hal, let me start with you. You were one of the legends in this business. Much respect to your career.
Kid, I'm a legend.
You're a legend.
Go ahead.
So, what is it about Mark Fusco's script that drew you to this project?
Well, certainly the humanity of it, and the fact that it's about generational distance, about generations not being able to communicate with each other, and how art, rather than words, brings them together. Basically, that was I saw that in the first script. It was very different from the one we actually shot because we really worked on it. But that was always the guts of it: art bringing the family together.
Were you familiar with the Ochoa boys coming into this project?
No, I had. Excuse me, I did not know anything about the Ochoa boys. First time we met, we were sitting at a restaurant table, and Ryan was, and I just rolled my eyes and looked at the director. I said, "This is the kid I'm going to be working
I was
with."
talking to the Ochoa boys,
Yes.
Ochoanizers, Hal's future fans.
There you go.
And Ryan, let me ask you: are you familiar with Barney Miller?
Now I am. Now it's like only the best show ever, and I'm waiting for the remake. I am waiting for the remake. Going back to when I first found out about working with him, I didn't want to watch the show. Obviously, everybody and their dogs knew about Barney Miller. So, but the relationship that Eli and Samuel have in the film, they don't really have one. They don't really know too much about each other. You see the relationship is built throughout the film. So if I knew, like, even how he talked, I mean, Ryan would have some sort of familiarity, however you say that.
Familiarity.
Familiarity. There you go.
Does it give an extra of special now, knowing that the story is also set in San Diego, where you were from?
I knew it when I read the script. I knew that we were shooting out here. It was going to be shot all around San Diego. So I was coming back home. You know, I mean, I began my career here in San Diego, moved to LA to pursue it, and now after all these years, I get to come back and shoot a movie with a legend in my hometown.
See, you got the legend.
Legend. I don't say it. I say national treasure.
There you go.
I say national treasure. You implanted it in me. But yeah, I was happy to be back here and shoot in places that were, I mean, my stomping grounds. You know, I used to hang out all the time.
I'm gonna ask you: did you shadow any dry cleaner? Any of you guys?
As I said after the show, that was a real dry cleaner shop with customers. Every time a customer came in, we had to stop shooting, and they would take care of the customer. As soon as the door closed, okay, take two, and we're back into shooting.
What did you learn from? I mean, do you have drawing skills yourself? Your doodling skills yourself?
I mean, I guess they could say I'm like a Picasso Jr. I mean, I don't. Actually, I'm not the greatest artist. We will say that. We did have some of the best help. A San Diego local teenager named Bella actually helped with a lot of our on-set drawings.
On-set drawings, the drawings that he was working on. Bella did them.
Here, but like a fun fact behind the scenes is we didn't really know what the final animations or what was the final project or the animation, which is another thing that really drew us to the project, is those little animation transitions. In the script, it just said, cut to animation transition. And
Nice.
those were like little things that were like, wow, I can't imagine what it's going to look like in the final picture. And so as an artist and an aspiring artist for young kids and even older people, I think those are kind of what drew them, and kind of a fascinating thing appeal to the film.
As I'm running into my final questions, I gotta ask you: what are the themes that you want the audiences to take away from this heartfelt drama?
The theme, intergenerational communication, that there's a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience, a lot of learning that can be passed down, a lot of warnings from the older generation to the younger generation, what they've got possibly in front of them, and in order to do that, they have to communicate. In order to pass that wisdom down, they have to communicate in both directions.
Yes.
The younger generation has to seek out the older generation to get some wisdom out of it. I mean, I spent a lot of years storing up all this wisdom, if you will. It would be a waste to lose it.
You don't want to lose that, especially him. I love being around him and hearing his stories. That's just me. And Hal is family now. But before, I can't imagine not knowing these stories, let alone stories that my great-grandmother, who's 91 years old, has. I'm with her all the time, but I need to be with her even more, with my grandma more, with my grandparents. You know, my mom and dad are my best friends, but I want to hear more stories. Like, they make our generation so much better, richer, and yeah, without repeating myself, like
That's
family history too. Like family history is so important. You don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. That's our thing, and we're gonna go with it. I mean, these kids need to hear these stories and wisdom and knowledge and everything.